Welcome in everyone. Today we're going to do a little review of Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift at Universal Studios Hollywood. It is soft opening right now. So let's talk about it. I got on this ride and I did do single rider, so I can't give it the full cue or thing, but I've seen videos of it. I'll talk about what I think later on are the weaknesses of this attraction, but let's talk about the ride in general, which the word I would use for this is fun. It's definitely a fun attraction, so let's go through this. I'm just going to watch a POV from my friend Mr. Daniel Storm. That's who filmed this officially with my glasses that I have. I did try to film it, but unfortunately it didn't work, so I don't feel that bad because I did go on this ride and I just didn't film. So I'm going to watch the POV here, and then I'm just going to, here we go. So the beginning, you go into the station, and you can see sometimes that like the track is switching over because there's two loading stations. And then basically you hear the engines rev, and then you go off. You blast off a little bit, not really blast off, but you move off. And then after that, boom, they shoot you off. That's not where you go 70 miles an hour, over 70 miles an hour. That's later on, right near the photo. But there's some beautiful views, like even like seeing Simpsons Land and other stuff. But looking out to the valley out here, like the Burbank area, it is beautiful. Now, anyway, they blast you off, so you're going down this first hill. So going down the first hill, it's super nice, and you already start to kind of drift here. Like depending on what vehicle you're in, you're kind of starting to drift here, which is super fun. And then you get these little hills and whatnot as you go down. Then there's this nice little bank here that you go into. And you keep spinning, you get to see other people, which is super fun. And I think at nighttime it's going to be even better. We don't really get nighttime stuff right now because for the most part people can't do that unless you wait like hours afterwards because there's just no way to see it, you know what I mean? Like there's no way to go on at nighttime. So hopefully during Grinchmas, because they just told us we can't do this during HHN. I want to see it at nighttime because I want to see the lights. I want to see how like the valley looks below and all that, the freeway, all that kind of stuff, the theme park. It's just probably really nice at nighttime. Most coasters for me personally are better at night. Okay, now we go into this part where you start drifting on a straightaway as you go into a backwards area. So it takes you up backwards, but really here, so you go backwards and then it kind of flips you a little bit and you kind of like flip here. And what's really nice is that, like, while it does do this, like, you do feel it. But it's not like Tatsu or something, which I'm not trying, like, I like Tatsu and other rides at Six Flags, but, like, you don't feel it. That's the unique part here is you don't feel it as much. Like, you go up this thing, and it just, like, flips you around, and then it hits you right here into a part where you just blast off into the camera. This is where you get a picture taken, and I think that's the fastest point of it. And it shoots you up this hill to go upside down. And then you get to see some of the queue here of all the people. They're like, hello there. Then you're going to kind of go above the stairwell here and get some airtime for a second and whatnot. And once again, get some beautiful views as you go underneath the stairwell, which is super fun. That's a super fun set piece into another corkscrew here, which I love corkscrews over loops, to be honest. And then that's the ride. And I will say you do get some nice things. You get the huge flag over there. You get like the plaza. You get to see everything. I'm very excited once again to see this at night. And overall, that's the basic ride. It's about 90 seconds, so, you know, my review is only going to be to double that with, like, me having to slow down the video and whatnot to kind of talk about the actual ride. But I will say that, like, I do enjoy this. It's a really fun ride, and I think that they did such a good job here of just making something fun and accessible. It's super, it's officially super thrilling. But because of how smooth it is and, like, how just, like, they made it in a way that just makes it where you don't feel the G-forces in negative ways, in my opinion. It's just a freaking fun. It's a fun coaster. Like, you just enjoy it. I like the drifting because at points it kind of reminds me of like, Tony Hawk, or maybe if there's a skateboard, like grinding. It has this like sensation that you get of like just like you're going one way, but then you're kind of looking another, and like the perfect kind of thing. I really am excited to go on Guardians of the Galaxy now, and especially Velocicoaster. Both of those I'm very excited to get on now over in Florida at some point, because if I like this, I'm assuming I'll like both of those. And yeah, I think that the strength of this coaster really is just how fun it is and how, like, it's a perfect, if you've ever wanted to do an extreme coaster, this is it. Like, this is above the Mummy, this is above Fly of Hippogriff, this is, like, way above a lot of, like, you know, coasters that a lot of people are going to go on at Disneyland for the most part. But I will say Incredicoaster's around the same level for me, because you do feel in Incredicoaster a lot of the speed a little bit more, in my opinion, and you feel especially that loop a lot more. So if you can handle Incredicoaster, I really think you should be able to handle this. Though I will say, I was in the front row, which I hear is a little bit, you don't feel the speed as much as compared to the back row. So, which makes sense. Big Thunder, I always go back row because that's the most extreme part for Big Thunder as well. But yeah, that's the review of the basic coaster. I think it's a good addition for Universal in that. I will say it's a little bummer for me as someone who loves theming. I will say I wish there was more theming. And really, if it's like, okay, so the coaster couldn't get theming, I kind of get that in a way. I wish we would have a long sequence. I think that would have helped to have, like, you go in there and like two fake cars pull up next to you and then it looks like you launch off. I get that would have cost money and blah, blah, blah. But like, we're at this point now after Super Nintendo World and Harry Potter Land and like Epic Universe, where like I just think Universal's at this like elevated area of like entertainment where I'm like, you guys do start this so well. I just wish we could see that more at Universal, Hollywood. Even Secret Life of Pets, people love that ride. Like, it's just like the immersion has been really put in there. And I wish we would have had like that, or at the very least at the end, there's definitely enough area at the very end that they could have put you into like a fake garage and had like characters clapping for you or whatever, cheering. Like, I feel like something like that would have been a nice little touch to really like be like, what's the point of this being Fast and Furious besides the fact that I guess the cars kind of look like this? But like, there's not much really that makes it feel like Fast and the Furious, in my opinion. The queue, from what I could tell, like, it just needs to be like covered completely. I really don't know if we ran out of budget here or what, but during the heat or even during the rain, which I know we don't get too much rain, but still, people are going to wait for this in the rain. Just don't make it worse for your guests. This should be completely covered. Now, I'm not saying it should be covered and not have like windows or a way to look out at the track. I think it should still have that. I'm just saying that the top should be covered in some way. To help you from the elements, and I think more theming would have been nice. People have asked me like, what would you really do with this? And like, one of the things that really stuck out to me is two kind of like things is map projection. Like, there's not much space here, so maybe like a map projection where like you go next to like a vehicle and it's like a white vehicle, but then they use map projection to kind of like spray the car, and it looks like they spray paint the car like different colors with different like symbols on there and whatnot, like kind of make it where like you can make the car into different kind of like, so imagine like you have a white car and then like a map projects like it's being sprayed on there, and like you can make it look like Lightning McQueen. Now, I'm not saying they would actually do Lightning McQueen, but maybe you could do it where you do like a Harry Potter one. Well, even that might be harder. But if they did allow you to do Mario, like make one that looks like a Mario car with the Mario symbol on there, or an ET car with like a moon on there and then Ellie and them like crossing it, like just something like that where you could do something cool where like the car could be like this themed either to like Universal stuff or just in general make it look like a cool car. Another kind of map projection they could have done like that is had like a wall and then project on it like it's getting spray painted on, like psst, and then like you put like, once again, you can do Universal stuff every once in a while, have like characters kind of on there, Back to the Future, whatever the heck you own that makes sense, King Kong, and just have them. That's something that you can also update at any time. You just put like new like programming in there to kind of make it where the queue can be a little bit more interesting. So that's kind of like some of my ideas would be like something like that, map projection, and have like graffiti type stuff, a spray paint on car. Also maybe even to show you more like how like an engine works or something like that, have like an open engine and kind of show how the parts work or something like that, or like inside of like a really nice car, or like just like a little bit more behind the scenes. I know if you scan stuff there's videos, but the queue's already loud, and you're not even supposed to be bringing stuff with you, so it would be weird to bring like headphones with you just to listen to the queue stuff and then have to put everything away. It's just a weird, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of a weird thing. And also, if I didn't mention, you can't even bring your hat. Like, this is one of those rides where like they literally put you through a scanner, like they like have a person wand you and everything to make sure you're not bringing stuff into the attraction. The only reason I could film this is Matter Glasses don't count, and also you have to have a strap for them. So I think that would be nice to kind of really like highlight them, have maybe like different stations around with like different movies and about how they did different stunts and kind of behind the scenes stuff. Even if it was kind of like just DVD commentary that they didn't like enhance with a little bit of extra footage or whatever, that would have been really cool. I just think that like showing more behind the scenes stuff and whatnot, or just even if you're just going to do a garage, then cool, make it into a garage and just make it sound like a garage and all of this, like have it sound like there are guys working on trucks somewhere nearby or cars or whatever, like that's what I think is the big weakness here, is probably the queue. I just think the queue could have used a little bit more love here, and I wish we would have got a launch and ending sequence, or at the very least a launch sequence, which looks like it might be coming over to the Florida version. So God bless you guys in Florida. Like, as always, we get we get a version, and you guys get the better. It's very rare that Orlando doesn't get the better version. I am very jealous of at least how the theme parks get like the budget out there, because they get the more worldwide travelers, I guess, or whatever it is than us, that allows them to have these bigger budgets for certain things. But I know a lot of people are excited for this. I will just say that, like, I also hope that this ride will have some fun versions in the future. I know this year at HHN they're not going to do it, but imagine like if they did Crazy Train on this year, right? Ozzy Osbourne's coming, so like you theme it to Ozzy of Crazy Train. The queue is filled with Ozzy music, and then when you get on, they play some music that's going to be themed to Ozzy and whatnot. You could do a Grinch version of this too, where like Grinch is like, oh, hit the button, Max, like, wrong button, and then you go do whatever, you know, like then you can have like a fun little story, use one of the Grinches from inside the theme park to be the voice. I know Jim Carrey would cost way too much, but we have amazing actors that work here, so you know, there's ways around this. But that would be cool, like that or FanFest too, like just to give us a little bit more. And maybe even if there's ever a time that makes sense, like use projections to kind of like give extra storytelling or lighting or whatever for some of these events like FanFest or HHN or whatever. Even maybe put fog machines out there and just fog it up and make it a little spooky or whatever. So anyway, guys, yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I know I kind of like rambled on a little bit about the queue, but that's really where I have the most amount to say, beyond the fact that I think the coaster does its job, which is introduces people into an extreme kind of coaster in a really good way. I will say, if you're like an extreme coaster fan from Six Flags, yeah, this is not going to be the most intense ride, but at the same time, people are going to have fun on it. And this is at the point of theme parks. Like, some people want to always break records or whatever. I'm like, sometimes it's fine to just have fun rides, and might think you can go on even longer. Remember, some of these extreme rides, you're not going to be able to ride when you're older. And I always try to remind people that. Like, people are like, I want this. I'm like, you won't be able to ride that thing past 50 or 60. Like, you're not going to be in the shape to ride this, a lot of people. Like, some people might, but like some of these coasters really do get into an extreme amount where it's like, it's just not good for you. And like, don't you want rides that you can kind of ride for most of your life? Like, that's what I enjoy about like dark rides, is that I can go Pinocchio until I'm 100. Like, it's just a fun ride. Like, same thing with Pirates. Like, Pirates, look how detailed Pirates of Haunted Mansion is, and there's nothing there to make it extra thrilling. It's an amazing experience. And so, yeah, anyway, guys, I'm going to say Fast and Furious, like, it does its job to be fun, and I wish we could have just got more theming, would have been my big want, because after Epic and all of this, I know some coaster fans don't care about theming. That's wonderful. My favorite coaster ever is Big Thunder Mountain, because it's a perfect match of fun thrills with theming. Like, I like rides that take you away. That's why I go to theme parks. And if you're someone who just wants thrills, I don't know, maybe this coaster doesn't do it for you. I've heard some people off the record change their mind about the coaster, but like, I've heard some people are like, it's okay, and some people are really into this coaster. I think it just depends on what kind of coaster fan you are. So let us know in the comments below if you're excited to go on this ride, if you've been on this ride, what you think. And let us know in the comments below just like what you think Universal is going to do next, guys. So until next time, everyone, we'll see you. This has been Jared's Journeys. And also, if you saw like a footage in there for a second, I just wanted to put the Street Racers in there to remind us that they did have the Street Racers show the first year at this open to celebrate 25 years of Fast and Furious. And look at Minion is being held by a monster.